One, everything has completely just taken a crap. Every time you talk about something, you just get freaking destroyed. It's so demotivating. Um, yeah, I don't know. It feels like it gets shut down on purpose. I shouldn't be having any problems, but it just for sure gets shut down on purpose. And again, it's just really demotivating to make streams and then you start talking. I've seen channels talk about some crazy stuff. I've seen some channels really talk about some crazy things, man. And you're only allowed to talk about it, like, you're only allowed to mention things if you have a certain belief or if you have a certain point of view. But, anyways, I'm going to stay off of that topic because I don't think YouTube freaking likes that topic. So, I guess I'm just going to talk to people about whatever. We had quite an audience too, so it's pretty messed up that it just goes to crap when stuff like this happens. But I'll give it another try. I'll stay on for maybe like 15 minutes. If we can get the audience back, then we can continue the show without talking about the colorful topic, which is a huge problem in the West. It's ridiculous, man. Hello to Sochi. Hello. You know what? There is one topic though that I was talking about last time on one of the lives, and I didn't finish talking like fully. I was gonna make a video about it. I'm still gonna make a video about these sex tourists that come to Russia because I feel like it's gonna be a bigger thing. Like I feel like it's gonna explode maybe in the next year. There's gonna be more people coming for that. And I don't know. I have a like a big problem. The Russian experience shouldn't be gone. No, the Russian experience is here. Don't scare me like that. Hey, Peter is a real bad guy. Look, somebody even told me about it, like the Russian experience. Are you looking at the link? Maybe the link is wrong. Let me just check the link real quick. Maybe the link is wrong. It could be just the link that I posted. But I'll check it and we'll get to the bottom of this. I could have just put the wrong link. That's the thing. Let's see what happens here. Um, Let me click here. No, I clicked the link on the bottom and it takes us to the Telegram. It's all good. Everything seems to be working smoothly. The Telegram is still there. Now, I had mentioned that there are older gentlemen coming to Russia and they're preying on Russian women. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I just feel that if you're a 60-year-old or a 50-year-old, obviously, if you have the money to buy the women, there's nothing and no one can do. I do think it's disgusting when if you're 50 years old and you talk about like, hey, I want an 18-year-old girl, and I mentioned this on the other live. I've met people here in Irkutsk that they prey on the young Russian women, And if you're okay with a girl being 18 and you being excited about that as a 50-year-old, that means you're a pedophile. Because it means that if you had the opportunity to have her when she's 17, you probably would do it. And the sex tourism, like I said, it's probably gonna grow. I've already talked about, I don't know why I said talked about. I've already talked about Peter Frauen, and I'll say his name because he actually was masturbating in front of my wife and laughing and had the prawn site on full blast. And that's like when I met him, I realized, oh, this is going to be a problem. This type of person is going to come to Russia and absolutely try nasty things with young girls. He thought my wife was like 20 years old and he was just being so aggressive and talking to her. But my wife is older than me. She's in her 30s, she's 35. And that guy, if I ever see him again, I'm just going to make sure to give him a piece of my mind. He went somewhere to Crimea and he's disappeared. But someone in this chat recently saw that he's been like asking young Russian girls to marry him. He's in his 60s and he's looking for a 20-year-old sex slave to give him kids. That's what he told me personally. He made video with Expat American. It was a little bit like super sus, man. To be honest, like that kind of stuff disgusts me. When channels talk about um, bringing, oh, like when other channels invite random foreigners now, like I don't do this anymore. I make sure that I check who's going to come. If your reason to coming is to find a wife or find a young girl, usually I cut the conversation. I don't deal with that anymore. Other channels like to like show women often. I don't do that. I don't know if you've noticed, but on this channel, I don't talk about women because I respect women. I don't make Russian women uh just like how would I say, like I can tell you there's one channel that sexualizes Russian women to the max. But this creator knows what he's doing and he's very good at sexualizing Russian women and he's a foreigner. Now, I would really uh not like to say the name, but what I'm trying to tell you is that since the last live, I've been trying to look for another guy who came into Russia, but he's blocked me everywhere. Yes, he ob, object ob, objectification. Yeah, I'm gonna be calling these people out. I just have to do a little bit of more digging, as they say. I feel like Russian women don't help themselves for this topic, but as a Westerner, you shouldn't come to a country and try to sexualize their women. Westerners are very famous to going to Thailand, Bangkok. Russians go there as well, by the way. And this is why I think like Russians, I consider them part of this uh, sex. They go for sex to Thailand and Vietnam. It's very close to here, right? But I can check my own people. I don't care about the Russians. They can go and do whatever they want. And that makes me sound like a hypocrite, but I have no control over those guys. But what I do have control over is controlling the community that comes into Russia, exposing them because they contact me for all of these things. And that's what I'm trying to explain is that I know I sound like a hypocrite when I say I don't care about the Russians who go to Thailand. I care about the Americans who come to Russia and want to be sexualizing the women because I have control over this. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can call me out on it if you think I'm doing the wrong thing, but it's just how I think. I can't control these Ruskies. I do have control over Spanish speaking people and Americans and Western foreigners. Like they contact me because they want to come to Russia. I've had a couple instances where older, maybe 50-year-old guys are like, "Hey, could you help me find a 18 to 19-year-old woman or early 20s?" And I tell them straight up like, "Hey, don't ever message me again and I think you're disgusting." A lot of Westerners want to come just for that. Hasta luego, Ashi. Hasta luego. Cuídate. Yeah, so I don't know. I hope that Russian guys, if you're a Russian person, a Russian citizen, I hope you're watching this and understanding that you should take care of your women. Do not allow these creeps to come and prey on your young teenage girls. Hello, my friend. Yeah, going to Russia with bad intentions is gonna end in a bad. You're gonna get bad results. You play stupid games, you're gonna get a really bad prize. I feel like I'm coming to the end on this topic. I just want to clarify. I don't ask, don't tell. Don't talk to me about your fetish for young girls, okay? And also, if you are Russian, understand that I am married to a Russian girl and I never I would never objectify her. Like, I would never think of her as a sex object. And knowing now that I'm gonna have a child in Russia, it kind of makes me even more vigilant about these crazy people who want to come just for that. So yeah, um, let's go ahead and do we have any new viewers? Is anybody who's watching now someone who's watching this stream for the first time? I'm really curious. Please let me know in the comments below in the chat if you are a new viewer. Um, actually, we need to put this on. I gotta put the bear back on. One second, guys. You know, YouTube really makes it hard for people who live in Russia to function normal on this damn application. But I'm doing it because I think I do it different than anyone else. I think that I do it different than everyone else, and actually, I enjoy being the way I am. You know what I'm saying, guys? In Krasnodar, carrying people caught such nobody handed him over to the police. That's great. No, I think Russian women listen. You know, I'm not that type of channel. Sophia says old viewer also like other channels about Russia, but sadly they keep getting shut down. Yeah, my friend Sasha got shut down. It's really sad. I was the first channel to even bring Sasha to the YouTube this community, and it's really sad. Let me see if I can stream here from the phone for a second because it's so. Let's try this. Hello from Belgium. Hello, my friends. Can you guys still hear me? I changed the camera because honestly, my laptop is very old. But if you could still hear me and we can still see, let's continue this. I had to say something. I had to say something. What did somebody darn it, I lost it. Darn it. Here it is. Rupert199 said you already explained that Russian women are nothing like Western women. No, I'm not that channel. I'm not that channel, guys. I don't think that Russian women are much different than Western women. I'll give you one thing. I think that the Russian women will try to dress a little bit better, but actually, I think that Russian women are going through the lip injection phase right now. The American women had fake lips, I think in the early 2000s. The Russian women, there's like a huge epidemic. A lot of Russian women are very fake. Also, a lot of Russian women are a little bit more materialistic. Um, this is the truth. Okay, I'm not a liar and I'm just saying it how it is. A lot of Russian women right now are going through the phase of like lip injections and all these other things. But this is like a culture thing right now. I think that they're going through the phase, and you would have to be living in Russia to actually tell like this is the truth. I feel like the Russian women are turning into what American girls were in the early 2000s, more materialistic, more into themselves. They don't really want to cook and clean anymore. I'm not saying women have to cook and clean. I'm just saying, like, you know, so if you're looking for a traditional woman, you're not going to find one like you think you're going to find one in Russia just because it's Russia. But it's the truth. I feel like Slavic girls are turning into the same girl in America because they're highly influenced by the media. The Hey Beardy, welcome. Yes, Russian women are turning into duck-lipped narcissists. It's the truth. I'm not forcing them to do it. It's just cultural. Um, I see 12-year-olds on TikTok all day dancing in the street. Like I see 12-year-olds dancing in the street every day doing random TikToks, and they're like 12 or 11 years old with makeup and these huge high heel shoes like with the sole this big and these huge thick pants. I see this every day. If you don't live in Russia, you will not see this. But no, Russian women are no different now. They're turning into westernized women. This is just how it works. So let's continue here. Do we have any questions? I agree. I'm Russian, and a lot of Russian women are starting to look like a copy of the Kardashians. There you go. Mallory is letting me know that what I'm seeing is also true. Now, I will say, um, the problem is that the Russian women, the social media is way stronger in Russia. Like whatever you see in your country, it's a whatever. But in Russia, they're very connected. So in Russia, I live in a 15,000 population town, and we're all on a Telegram group, or like my wife is in the group with these people, right? Everybody's more connected. In the United States, you're not gonna have that. Um, Irkutsk has like a bunch of groups where people go in and share Telegram. We get the news very fast if something happens. And so this is why the media, social media in Russia, I mean, you can't go anywhere without 2 weeks ago we're here, Sigma, Sigma boy, Sigma boy, Sigma boy. You know what I'm saying? If I know about Sigma boy, you know that the network here in Russia is crazy. This is embarrassing for me to say. You know what I'm like? I have to say it. I have seen this random little Russian girl, or I don't know what the hell she is, say Sigma boy 1,000 times. And that is why I'm telling you, the kids in Russia are connected to their social media and they hop on the trends that come from the United States. Sigma boy, those are two English words. I don't know what the hell they mean, but what the hell is a Russian 12-year-old singing about using English words, right? I rest my case. Oh, we're getting the viewers back on. Thank you so much, guys, for rejoining us. I'm not going to be showing any news because if I show news in the background, we can get destroyed. Honestly, my little sister is talking about something happening in India. Whatever we're seeing happen anywhere in the world, India is the best proving grounds. Like, India is the best testing grounds. India's population, you can expedite whatever can happen anywhere else because they have such a huge population that social movements, brain rot, uh, any type of influence like happening around the world, if it happens in India, if freaking you can see if it's gonna work, if it's not gonna work, if it's a good trend, if it's a bad trend, because of the population that India has. India is like a freaking testing tube. No, the video got demonetized. The video that I made got demonetized. I'm not sure if the channel has any strikes or if it's demonetized yet. I'm doing this live without checking on my channel. The last video that I made got demonetized and my last stream got shut down when we started talking about things, certain things. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to go straight and censor myself. So yeah, we're gonna go as long as we can, maybe until 1 in the morning. Tomorrow I'm gonna be live streaming vertical. We're doing these horizontals on Sundays, Siberia time. If you're watching this live right now, I'm gonna be doing a video and a live every Sunday, and I'm gonna be doing vertical streams through the week, horizontal streams on the weekends. So if you like this type of stuff and you join me, then feel free to come. The Sigma thing is an internet meme on top of more conventional alpha and beta classifications. Yeah, I have no clue about the alpha and beta classifications. But what I was trying to let you know is that if I've heard of this song, then it's definitely something that has gone through Russia. I think that Russia, the people are on the social networks, the Russian social networks, they're way more connected. Did you meet any of the local shaman tribes in Siberia? I've been to a couple shaman locations where shamans were buried, and I've seen Buddhist people make pilgrimage to these locations. So I've seen people respect the shaman burials. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for that question, by the way. It's a shame there is so much censorship on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying my best not to piss off the gods. Obviously, um, I do try to make some income from YouTube so that I can do things here in Russia, but it's whatever. I'm gonna ride the horse as long as I can. We're I think the last stream was like 30 or 40 minutes. I'm not sure, but this one's up to 25 already. So let's take some questions. Is anybody curious about anything? I'll answer damn near everything as long as it doesn't get us shut down. Hey Medi, welcome brother. Yeah, it's freaking tough. I feel like I don't think sanctions are ever gonna bring back monetization, like the real monetization to Russian content creators. I think like if you're making content from Russia, you're always gonna be cooked now. I don't think YouTube will ever go back on allowing people to be monetized in Russia the normal way. And it is what it is. How's my wife feeling? My wife's already done with the cravings. She's 5 months pregnant, and before I got on the stream, I was talking to my baby and I was feeling like the punches it was doing or the kicks. So yeah, like my baby is big enough now to where I can feel the kicks and the kicks and the punches. I talk to my baby while it's in the stomach and it moves all right. Thank you so much. By the way, I couldn't be happier. I've lagged on the gender reveal and the military rations because I'm what the heck? Yeah, we were gonna be talking about the rioting that's happening in Los Angeles, but I don't want to get shut down. I will say that whatever is happening in the United States right now in California, I don't support it. I am a Mexican citizen and I don't support non-Mexicans rioting with Mexican flags. I'm also an American citizen and a veteran of the United States Marine Corps, and I don't support those ungrateful American people waving other flags and rioting and destroying the city that I was born in. This is the topic that was going to be talked about on this channel, but we got shut down last time. Um, I don't understand. Like, people who riot are not people who are affected by the laws. They like to loot. The Mexican Americans in Los Angeles love to loot, love to throw bricks at cops. This is just what makes their life happy. Michael, you must be new to the channel. My wife's mother has passed away. My wife's mother passed away, and my father-in-law and I are very close, and we do plan on taking the baby over to him and letting him enjoy his grandchild. Yeah. Why now and what the hell who does it benefit exactly? You know, Medi, like I said previously, like on the other live stream that got shut down, we're always in this constant turmoil in the United States. It's like it's on a timer, man. It's on a freaking timer, and it's so ridiculous that people fall for it over and over again. Mexican Americans are so easily brainwashed. Thank you so much, Peter. You know, I feel like the easiest groups to brainwash are the Mexican Americans and the African Americans. Like we're always doing crazy things. It's ridiculous, and it's really embarrassing for me as a Mexican American when I see like young Mexican Americans rioting, looting, walking out of school, protesting things that they shouldn't even have anything to do with. It's really embarrassing. Michael Barrett, I'm a Marine too, served in Afghanistan. No way, man. You essentially freaking we were copy and paste, brother. No worries. What year were you in Afghanistan? Again, I don't think it's genetics. I think again there's no way it's genetics. It's brainwashing, okay? I have had listen, man, I don't want to get into it, but you're weird if you think it's genetics. We have I've lived in the South. I've lived in the South where the minorities are nothing like the minorities in the large cities. 2012 to 2013, no, I was already freaking banging and singing and taking over Marja in 2010, 2011. Hey, but thank you for your service, by the way. I forgot to say it. We have a couple veterans in here, by the way, some Army guys and some Marines. So it's not a problem for you to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh man, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Can I create an extra channel where we can talk about this problems? Uh, yeah, you know what? I think um, I was trying to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers, but I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. I don't think that it's possible for this channel to get to 100,000, but I did want to make kind of like a geopolitical channel where I can just talk my mind and go over certain topics. And I really enjoy like what we do in Defense Politics Asia. We have a couple veterans from that channel. What we do in Defense Politics Asia is just talk about certain topics, and I really like covering those things. But the open mics are really hard to attend because I'm on a different time zone, and the host and I are on the same time zone. But my buddy, he's a trooper, man. He stays up. Um, yeah, but I'm thinking about opening another channel. Just stand by on that. Because it's, like what we do on open mics, I feel like it's probably the best thing where you just off the top of your head go over what you're feeling. And shout out to everybody out there. Again, Defense Politics Asia, Wyatt, man, and Maddie, Vaughn, all the freaking dudes that are in here from that community. We really have something special over there. And it feels like because of my channel and where it is right now, it feels like I might end up doing something like that in the future. Danya, I'm gonna go to Moscow and I'm gonna see if I can record with the real reporter. Talking about the real reporter, like his most recent video really made no sense to me. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen. Servus. The last video actually where he talked to the drone operator or like this tech guy, it was a little bit sus because listen, I say stuff how it is, man. I say stuff like it is. I don't think that the Russian military should look at Ukraine and think that that's the power of the United States. It's like a fallacy. It's a fallacy to believe that the power of one country can be expressed by what it does with the weapons of another country. It's a fallacy. Now, this is one topic that I really love to get into when I'm in Defense Politics Asia. When we talk about military breakdowns and stuff like this, um, it's not to say that Russia is not a step ahead right now of the United States. There's no denying that Russia is a step ahead because they can combat proof things. But to go look at the Real Reporter video and listen to this Russian guy talking about how he's not impressed with the Western technology, and he puts, I think, like the West or the United States tech, it's a fallacy. You see, you're believing something that's absolutely wild. Howard, welcome, first time viewer. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I think if you guys will allow it, will you allow me to speak a little bit about the conflict and the military stuff? Because I feel like some things are not said. Nobody talks about some of these things that go through my head, and this is one thing that I've been thinking about. I talked about this with my friends, Vaughn and Mehdi. I think I think I mentioned this the last time I was on the live because they droned Irkutsk Oblast, okay? They droned 50 miles from where I live. Now, to some people, that might seem like, oh, it's 50 miles away and you are not a target, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But my prediction came true where 2 years ago I said that the Ukrainians would start doing so many unconventional things. The closer they are to losing the conflict, the war, the more unconventional they're going to get. I live next to a strategic choke point for the railroad, the Trans-Siberian, and honestly, I'd never thought that I never thought that I would have to speak about this on a live, but this is what I was thinking. I was thinking like, yeah, if this conflict drags on for 1 year more, you should expect more unconventional drone attacks throughout all Russian stuff. I think that that's what it's going to get to. Um, Ukraine is literally going to be turning into almost like a terrorist state, even if it accepts unconditional surrender. It's kind of showing its colors that it's going to be moving into this sort of Western terrorist group. There's a lot of countries who are testing new weapons, new drones. A lot of countries are investing in drone warfare and testing it through Ukraine. And when Ukraine accepts defeat, it looks like it's not going to stop its attacks. This is my opinion. If it ends in a sour taste in its mouth, it's gonna be looking really bad. And this is just not what Russia needs. An unconventional war is a freaking hellhole. Ukrainians speak Russian and they look like Russians. This is the worst case scenario. I hope I'm wrong, but it just feels like Ukraine is going to be the hub of a future, almost like a Slavic Al Qaeda, man. It's just a weird thing to talk about. Who are we talking about? Vsevolod. 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 He's got the sickest name in the game. Vsevolod. Yeah, I know that I'm right about this, by the way. I know that Ukraine is going to be an open training ground for the West because it's just how it goes, man. There's no world where Russia and Ukraine will ever be on good terms anymore. But anyways, we're going to move on from that topic because I can't, I don't want another year of this, but I feel like it's going to happen. Um, Somebody wanted me to talk about the 6,000 KIAs that were going to be sent back to Ukraine. Somebody left a comment on that. And that is a huge number, guys. That is a huge number that people, if you don't see, even if you've never seen 100 people and maybe like a concert, you won't grasp the significance of this. But 6,000 people is a lot. 6,000 people is a freaking huge, huge theater, right? And Russia was supposed to make a deal with the Ukrainians to take them back. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the military analysis where Russia is doing this because it's going to cost a lot of money to the Ukrainians for paying the families of their KIA family members. I don't think that's the only reason why Russia would do this. I honestly also think that it's better to get rid of enemy body bags. You don't want to be storing these things anywhere. You want to get rid of them as soon as possible. You don't want to be wasting your energy and your time to keep track of these KIAs. So I think Russia's doing this not only to cause a little bit of a wake up to the Ukrainian citizens, but it's also trying to get the load off their shoulders. Uh, yeah, you can write, brother. I can't add people because I don't have the freaking StreamYard. If anybody has a StreamYard account that they want to share and I pay half and half, let me know because that way we can have people on in the conversation in the future. Yeah. 6,000, Medi says, sickness, 6,000 families who are not going to connect benefits they deserve. That's insane. That's right. Do you think 6,000 names should be publisher for Ukrainians to search? You know what? I think that Russia should have already, I think the Russian military should already have something like that to where the information of the KIAs of the Ukrainian fallen soldiers, I feel like it might be that already. I'm not sure. Yeah, SH, my Siberian hermano says 6,000 is nearly 10% of the British Army. And yes, 6,000 is actually a big amount. Put it this way, when I was in the Marine Corps in Afghanistan, I think the most infantrymen we had possibly could have been 10,000 infantrymen, people who actually fight in any given area. 6,000 men is a whole battle space. This is a whole battle space, an area of operation. 6,000 men are supposed to hold a huge chunk of a front line or a big battle space. 6,000 is nothing to mess with. That ain't nothing to mess with. Like that number is ridiculous. That is a huge amount. And from what I understand, these are not just logistics people or supply or admin, right? These are infantry. These are people who are working. These were frontline men, and these were tank operators. Just this is the real deal, all right? These people that they lost, highly experienced people. Yeah, somebody said that the list is in public now. The story from Bigari is that they cannot process the remains or store them. They have to be autopsied and cause of death determined. Also, they cannot deal with publicity. Interesting. So Vaughn is dropping some information there, guys, if you want to read it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vaughn. I think like from what I remember in my little conflict, we didn't really keep KIA. We never took 6,000, let alone even 100. But we never did keep them long enough to even care. Also, it was unconventional war, but you know what I'm saying? If we had 6,000, we would have to get rid of them as soon as possible. All right, we're coming up to an hour. Nice. Yeah, you have to understand also, guys, that I've never talked down on the strength of the Ukrainians. I've always said that even if the Ukrainians had no weapons, it would take months to defeat them. That's how massive their military is. Whether you want to believe that they forced mobilization or not, but it surely looks like it. It surely looks like they've forced mobilized a lot of people because the front line is huge. To hold that front line, it's actually impressive. I don't think that any other country in Europe could hold the line like Russia and Ukraine right now. So militarily speaking, the ability of both sides to hold the line is actually very impressive militarily. I don't think that another country in Europe would be able to hold that front line as big as it is. Danya says, off topic question. What do you think may happen after the conflict in terms of airspace? Will it be returned to direct international flights? I think that the airspace is going to be closed around Ukraine for a pretty long time. I think that Ukraine is going to have its airspace closed for a long time, and I think that Russia is also going to have its airspace closed for a lot of countries for a long time. I think that flying is not going to come back as soon as possible. It's not going to come fast. Yes, Ukraine uses a lot of mercenaries, especially from Colombia, Brazil, Poland. So, yeah, but I don't think that mercenaries do that great of a job anymore. In the beginning of this conflict, mercenaries had better experience than the Ukrainians, but now any frontline Ukrainian unit is going to have more experience than the mercenaries. In the first 2 years of this war, mercenaries were much better trained than both the Russians and the Ukrainians. Believe it or not, it's just the facts. Both sides, the Russians and the Ukrainians, their mercenaries were the top of the line. We're talking about Wagner in the Russian side and the mercenaries that would come from Australia, England, and these other countries that had already been in combat. They were the best units for the Ukrainians. And a lot of people don't want to believe this fact. I had somebody debate with me and they made no sense. In the first 2 years, Russian mercenaries from Wagner were the best soldiers in the war. It was the same thing for the Ukrainians. The mercenaries that had fought in Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria, their mercenaries were the best in the battlefield. The drones actually, it's not just the drones. It's a specific type of drone that changed the battlefield, because drones have been used already plenty, but it's a type of drone that changed the battlefield. Let's be realistic here. Yes, what about the DPR people fighting since 2014? Common fact that this has been happening for a long time, we already know. But to be honest, I'm not going to talk about it. There's documentaries that you can watch and you can see what's been happening there. YouTube surprisingly hasn't freaking cut it off. The Wagner units were ex soldiers at the start. Yeah, of course. Every mercenary is an ex soldier. But what I'm saying is they were mercenaries and they were the best units that Russia had. Wagner did the first major battle in the entire war and they won it. Yeah, rest in peace, Gibby. We we have Prigozhin's main boy here too, by the way. I don't know. I just feel that hopefully this comes to an end, but I don't think it's. I was very hopeful at the beginning. I thought, okay, they're gonna really start understanding what's happening. Like the Ukrainians should have started giving up, but they're not. Drones have not changed everything, and there are ways of countering the drones. Russia and Ukraine both have different techniques of either jamming the drones or constructing defensive positions that work better against drones. Listen, drones are nothing new. They're just flying IEDs. Artillery in mass numbers is much more effective than a drone. Artillery in an open field is much stronger than a drone. Drones have the power of causing nightmares to the enemy during the day, but artillery is still the main reason why you should not sit in a trench and wait. And I'm telling you this respectfully, okay? I understand you're giving a lot of respect to drones, but it's one particular type of drone that has changed the battlefield, okay? A radio operated, a signal operated drone, this has already existed. It's already been used in war for a lot. And yeah. Yeah, Donald Trump and his he said he was going to end the war in 24 hours. You know, I was a little bit I was like, okay, let's see what he can do, but he's not going to be able to end the war in whatever freaking 24 hours. That's ridiculous. But I was thinking like he can make a difference. He can slow the Ukrainians down. And actually, surprisingly enough, he has slowed down the Ukrainians because he's not really openly supporting them, right? So you can say that he failed in what he said. He lied in being able to end the war in 24 hours, but he has slowed the Ukrainians down. Welcome. Could you guys please try to get this stream up to 100 likes, please? I would really appreciate it because we're getting here to the end of it, and we had the last one shut down. Let's try to get this stream up to 100 and see what happens. I'm gonna drink some water. Oh, by the way, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. We haven't seen the bear in a long time. Yeah, I haven't seen the bear in a long time. I wonder If the notifications are working. So it looks like Wagner is making a comeback. Now, what I will say that Wagner does have a monopoly still in its style of mercenary work. Wagner was the first mercenary group that actually had full support of a global superpower. You had never seen it before. When I was working in Afghanistan, I got to see Blackwater, but Blackwater never mixed with us. Like they didn't have air support like we or artillery support. They were doing their own thing. Sure, we could help them every once in a while, but they didn't operate their own airplanes. They didn't have their own artillery units. They didn't have their own uh, tanks and stuff like this. Wagner really changed the game. This had never been seen before in anywhere in the world in history where a mercenary group has been backed up this much by a global superpower. Is Elon going all in, win everything or lose everything? I don't know, man. Elon and the Donald Trump thing is super weird. It's super weird. I don't understand why that's happening. And thanks so much, guys, for getting us to 100 likes. Thanks so much, man. We're coming up to an hour of this show. I'm surprised we didn't get turned off this time. Really proud of really proud of you guys and myself for freaking staying on and not getting censored again. Yeah, Ahmad is also I think one of the let me see. So Ahmad is not as impressive as Wagner because they don't have the no. So Wagner in Bakhmut in the Battle of Bakhmut, they showed that they had the ability to grind the Ukrainians. I don't think that Ahmad had has the ability to do what Wagner did back then. They may be able to do it now because they consumed most of the Wagnerites. But what I'm trying to say is I don't think that the Chechen Ahmad group is able to grind just like the Wagnerites did. This is a very impressive thing that they happened in Bakhmut. It was like all in from both sides. This is the truest form of grinding the enemy down. Ahmad cannot do that. I don't think that they would be willing to do it because they they recruit from a different crop, and well, you know, Wagner had a couple inmates. Let's be honest, and they did use them in strange ways. A lot of them perished, but a lot of them actually won their liberty. But respect to the Wagnerites who fought in that battle, again, I don't think any other mercenary group could have done what they did. Yeah, Wagner is super big in Africa right now. I this is why I'm telling you like Wagner is in a league of its own. Well, guys, it's coming to the end for me. It is gonna be 1 in the morning soon, and I appreciate you watching. It's a shame that our live got turned off last time. Please make sure to subscribe. Please go check out my most recent video. If you haven't, just go to my main page and you'll see my most recent video, my most recent regular video. All right, guys. Thank you.